if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. You do not sell your Bitcoin. Thank you.
Bitcoin is worthless artificial gold.
Within a decade, crypto and blockchain technology will be the 12th sector of the S&P.
Bitcoin doesn't have any value in and of itself. It's not backed up by anything.
Roughly a coin, average price of $30,700. Spent about $4 million on it.
Is that we are not buying this dip because it's not a dip.
After what is to be considered the biggest pump since the beginning of mankind, or at least the biggest pump of the last 3 weeks, Bitcoin right now prepares for what could be the biggest Santa Claus rally since last Christmas. But the baby bulls are not out of the woods just yet, as the baby bears sharpen their teeth and wet their whistles at what will be the biggest switcheroo, reach around Magoo times 2 since the beginning of planet Girth itself. Right now, the crypto markets face potentially their biggest switcheroo, upside, fake out pump that we've seen in months. Relief rally, whatever you want to call it. This is absolutely gigantic, as Bitcoin has broken 17,000 for the first time in a long time. However, currently, it continues to battle that range. But the big question now is, are we about to see a true relief rally? Are we about to bust through 17, 18, 19, and even 20K and reclaim our rightful place above the 2017 highs? Or are the baby bears just right now taking a little break before completely and utterly covering the baby bulls in complete dumpage? Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications so this is absolutely time-sensitive alerts. And without any further ado, let's dump in to what truly will be a life-changing webisode, as Bitcoin right now is actually breaking out of a downward-facing resistance that we've had on these charts ever since the very beginning of November, when Sam Bubblebutt, Big Booty Fried Fraud, completely lost the plot and broke up with his beautiful girlfriend, Sweet Caroline, and also lost $20 billion, $30 billion. What a king. But right now with Bitcoin, we are seeing that first move to the upside since then, right? This is when Sam broke Sweet Caroline's heart, and now we're finally seeing potentially a move above some of this gigantic resistance, which as well is the very first time we're squeaking our peaks above the 21-day moving average, this green line right here. So a lot of big things coming. The 50-day moving average sits right at about 18.5, which is the low range of where Bitcoin traded here back at the end of September, as it was kind of diddling 20K for months and months and months, right? If we zoom out, we really sat between 18K, like 18K and like 23K for most of this year, for most of 2022. And the only time we really broke concretely out of that range was because of the breakup. However, Bitcoin desperately wants to reclaim that range here, especially as the stock market did well at the beginning of this month, because CPI was finally showing maybe the inflation is potentially getting tamed a little bit. Obviously, inflation is still running rampant. We have a long way to go. However, the very first signs of that trend reversing is what we're looking for. And at the beginning of this month, we did see that, and the stock market pumped. Bitcoin didn't, because of Sam breaking up with Sweet Caroline and losing billions of customer funds. But now we are seeing the beginnings of Bitcoin potentially break to the upside here. Now, a lot of things to watch. So first of all, the stock market is rallying today after Jerome Powell's speech. Basically, not really saying anything much new, but just kind of, the market tends to rally if kind of even nothing happens, and we potentially see, well, yeah, maybe we are starting to see the beginning of this trend change. The stock market only a couple points away from setting new local highs, the highest that we've been since September, about 2.5 months ago, as we broke down below some of these ranges. But now with it holding on the 21-day over the past couple of months and weeks, that's decent. But we also see the DXY just continue to not look that good, potentially putting in a lower high here. After we saw this high here, are we putting in now another confirmed lower high just today? It's very possible. And again, I think overall this trend is going to continue this way. The DXY has so much room to make up, and even if it does get up to this level, I personally think it's going to be very hard for it to get above that, if it even gets up there. So that's optimistic to watch for. This range is simply huge for resistance for the DXY, the 110 level on the DXY. And as well, we see altcoins accordingly doing well. ETH actually approaching almost 1,300 for the very first time since the very beginning of November when Sam dumped on everyone. So that's very big. Okay, we're seeing some promising things shape up. And if we look at Bitcoin even on the weekly chart, again, guys, we still have this momentum intact, especially on the MACD. We still have this very strong bullish divergence as well. Very strong multi-month bullish divergence, about almost 5 or 6 months of bullish divergence. That's pretty big. And we could see this return at the very minimum back up to this middle line here, which is right around 20K. High end of this would be around 23, 24, at which point if this became a macro pattern that ended up breaking out bullishly, then again, the sky is the limit. I don't personally count on that. The environment is still a little too dumpy in my opinion for anything like that. But a return to the $20,000 range, I think, is just very likely over this next month as we finish out 2022, and especially as we enter 2023. I think, again, my opinion, I think the worst of the dumpiness is over in terms of time. In terms of price, I think it's very likely it is as well. That doesn't mean we cannot go lower than we currently have, but I think that in terms of the time, in terms of how much we've gotten dumped on, I think, in my opinion, just my opinion, I think the worst is over. Now, again, there are a million things to factor in, so it's not really a black and white analysis. It's so nuanced and there's so many little intricacies to it. But in my opinion, this looks rather good. And as well, if you are interested in signing up, get $30 free simply by putting in an email and creating a password. It takes 30 seconds on Bybit, and up to $30,000 also in deposit bonuses, not to mention 0 fees for spot trading. Okay, 0 fees using Bybit for spot trading below. And as well, if we take a look here, so Bitcoin is tapping that $17,000 range. Breaking above 17.5 could actually turn very bullish very quick. And also, we noted this downtrend line right here that Bitcoin is now moving above. And so that's big. We haven't really seen that since this dump really began. It is important to note that on the 10-day chart, we did recently get this bullish MACD flip for the first time since the rally back a year ago in October of 2021, where we topped out at 69,000. Nice. But again, the big resistance is right at about 19,000, right where that giant moving average is, which if we flip that, ultimate support. We have not flipped that. We have not been above that consistently since September of 2021, and it was support during the entire bull run. Now, flipping that again, I think, confirms just decent relief. I don't think we'll be back in a bull market if we flip it, but I think that relief is on the way. But in the meantime, with Bitcoin sitting right about 17,000, it's not concrete that we're just going to stay above this forever. However, it's a very good first step for potentially seeing the beginnings of this market head to the $20,000 range over the next few weeks. So you guys, the channel, please like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and receive absolutely time-sensitive alerts. Take advantage of $30 free by signing up with the Bybit below. 0 fees for spot trading, and an additional up to $30,000 in deposit bonuses below. Can't really go wrong with all the bonuses. I mean, my favorite thing obviously is the 0 spot trading fees. Without any further ado, that's it for me.